Greetings, fellow rock stars. Corey here, your director of entertainment, and 2023 is almost upon us. That means that it's time for us to change things up, maybe make things easier and streamline them. And for all of those out there who do our weddings and to some extent some other things like corporate events or mitzvahs, you know that we provide a ceremony sound package. Well, we thought that maybe there's better ways of doing this, and so today I'm going to introduce you to a new simplified system of sending ceremony sound. That's a lot of S sounds. We're gonna use a Mackie board with only a few pieces. You might end up with some of this equipment on your future shows, so we might as well learn how to do it together. So come along and join me. So this system is, simply put, the same thing we have in any of our DJ racks. So with our microphone systems would be a great example, or the way that we send out sound via our XLR cords in the front board. We're basically breaking down what we see in the rig, and maybe we might learn a thing or two about connecting all the systems. So for this, we're gonna be using three basic bits of equipment. One is a speaker, like you might see in any of the shows. Two is a receiver. These are the exact same receivers that we have at the front of our DJ boards, but we're using them in isolation. And the third is an audio mixer. We've got power running to the speaker, to the mixer, and to the receiver box. Now it's time for us to hook up the XLR so the sound can go out. So first, on the back of the receiver box, you can see we've got that same little XLR as we do with anything else, and as I like to say, square peg, square hole. We're gonna go over line 1, line 2, whichever works best for you, plug it in. Now, for certain weddings, I'm sure all of you know that sometimes there is need for more than one wireless mics. So if you have the need for it and you're going out with one of our Mackie mixers and say you need both the officiant and the groom to have a wireless mic, well, you want to make sure you grab a receiver for each wireless mic that you might need. So if you get a handheld or even one of our lapel mics, you want to make sure you have a single receiver for each wireless signal you need sent out. So we've got that hooked up. Now we have to have the mixer board say, hey, any sound going in has to go out. And just like you might anticipate, we're gonna take another XLR. In the back, there is two different inputs. And plug it in just like you would with anything else. Now, just for a quick refresher when it comes to wireless microphones and receiver boxes, your simple baseline is make sure that the signal on the microphone matches the one on the Sennheiser box. They should come sent with the same signal, but if they don't, we have to change that manually. Now, you can do it one of two ways. Either you can go into the settings under advanced, and then you can manually tune it so they match, or you can sync using the sync button on the receiver. Now when you press it, you're going to see this screen, and then there's a rounded rectangle below the input screen on the microphone. You want to hold it up to that black box a few inches away. You'll see in a second that I tilt the microphone. And once those things are talking to each other, you'll see a check mark on the receiver box. That means now that the two frequencies are going to match, and that is going to allow the microphone's input to go through the receiver box's output and then in through the Mackie mixer and the speaker that we already had set up. We've checked the frequency, we have everything hooked up. If everything's working right, we should now be able to control the wireless microphone through the receiver on our mixer board. So as you can tell here, we've got all the different lines. We want to make sure that we're using that main, so I might start up nice and low, making sure we don't blow out the room. Then, as this is hooked up to mic line 1, I'll start to slowly bring it up here. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. You can already hear it. And there we go. We're heard nice and clearly on our speaker. Hooray, we did the thing. Now, as I'm sure you know out there, it's not just microphones that we need for things like ceremonies, because often at weddings, we have processional, recessional songs. So just like we would with any other mixer, we have to hook up a separate sound source. This is where this bad boy comes in. You got whatever amount of adapter you might need. Take, for example, right here, we've got an RGB to a lightning. You plug your phone in into the tape line, and then you can control the tape level through the main. It automatically clicks through the main, and you can bring your volume up and down through the tape level knob. and you should be able to play any kind of sound that you might need to. This works the same as our ceremony sound iPods that we send in the binders that are in the backpacks, which should allow you the ability to control the things that you need to. And that's it. As simple as 1, 2, and 3. You put all the things together and you have yourself a system that is your ceremony sound system. It's a nice and simple input, and it is possible that you could be sent out with a simple set of speakers, a Mackie mixer, and a couple receivers to make your show work. Don't be afraid, don't be intimidated. It is about putting together, but remember, square peg, square hole, and you got this. All right, rock stars, we'll see you in 2023, and until then, let's keep rocking those shows.